Let's take a look at multi-dimensional arrays in Java. We're going to go ahead and start with a public class here called multi-darray, which contains our main method. This will be the entry point to our program. We do have the first thing is how to declare a multi-dimensional array. There are a few ways to do that. We start with the data type, for example, int. Then we will use the square brackets here, double square brackets, and the name of the array. We'll call this one array 1. Okay, and semicolon. Another way here is to declare the data type, then the name, then the square brackets. And then one more way to do that is square bracket, name, square bracket. Okay. My preferred way is the first way of line 6. It just seems to make more sense to me. An integer multi-dimensional array. Then this obviously I've never even seen, but this syntax is available and can be used. Okay, so let's go ahead and erase that. Okay, next we'll look at instantiating in a multi-dimensional array. It's pretty easy to do here. We'll take our array equals new keyword int data type, and we're going to go ahead and use these square brackets, and we're going to make this as 3 by 3. So 3 rows, 3 columns. That's one way of thinking of that. Okay, so this will make a 3 by 3 matrix or multi-dimensional array. Next, we can instantiate. So arrays, they start at index 0. So one way here is accessing 0. Okay, and then within that first row, we're going to access the first element, and we're going to assign it 1. Then we're going to stay with the first row. Then we're going to go to the second column and 2. And again, and 3. Okay. Now we've stayed in the same row, but we filled in the 3, okay, 3 columns. Okay, so far, what does that look like? Well, it kind of looks like this. Pretend that's the array. Okay, kind of looks like this. 1, 2, 3. Then we have null, 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 and then we have null, null, because we haven't instantiated or initialized any of these other values. This is one way to view that. It probably makes more sense if we actually space it differently. So if we were to put this in their own line, we can kind of see that these are this is row 0, row 1, row 2, and then you have the 0 column, 1 column, 2 column. But that kind of looks a little bit better there. Okay, this is the one way of visualizing that. Alright, let's go ahead and erase that. Alright, and then for fun, let's go ahead and fill in the rest. Pause this for a sec. Okay, I've gone ahead and filled in the rest. Okay, you can see here that the row 0, row 1, row 2, and each one has a set of 0, 1, 2. Oop, that's actually incorrect here. Let's fix that. Alright, there we go. 0, 1, 2, 0, 1, 2, 0, 1, 2, and they just do the count 1 through 9. Okay, now another way of doing this here quickly is if we do it together. So we're going to declare and initialize together. Let's create a new array. We'll call it R2. Let's not forget our square brackets. Okay, and then real quick here, just like I showed before, three, comma. All right, so that's one way of doing it all together. We get the same result here as the example on top. Let's just give it space it here a little bit, just so visually looks a little cleaner and maybe makes a little bit more sense. Okay. Okay. Let's come back up to the top here and then just take a look at how to print out an array using two for loops. So let's create those for loops. So first one is going to be for and int. We're going to call it row, indexing at 0, while row is less than, and we'll say 3. We can actually say arg.length, and because the arg length is 3, and we can do row plus plus. Okay, and the next for loop, notice that I'm not using the curly brackets because we're basically just going to use a one line of code to print. We can go ahead and call this column, again 0, column will be less than arg.length, because again this length is 3. All right, and then let's go ahead and print. All right, and we'll print out on the same line. We'll take arg, this row, and this column, and we'll give a little space. All right, and so we should get a line. Okay, let's go ahead and run that. All right, there you go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, now let's add some curly brackets and actually print this by giving a new line between each third element. So let's go ahead and take this and this one. Okay, go ahead and add this in here. All right, and then after each column, we're going to go ahead and just print a line. All right, let's go ahead and run that. All right, there we go. So this makes more in my mind, it makes more logical sense. This is what's happening. Okay, it's going through the first row at 0, then it's printing all the column. And once it's done with that, it jumps out, makes the new line for us, and goes back into the for loop here. And now it's row 1, which is the second row. Okay, does the columns again, comes out, next line. Okay, last row, do the column, print out, and you're done. Okay, so next we'll take a look at some jagged or uneven or irregular arrays. Basically, the array will be uneven, so either we'll make it have more columns. Then so let's just run through an example. Maybe that'll make more sense. So first, let's go ahead and declare some type of array here. Let's call it call it uneven, and a new int. Okay, we'll make this a size 3. Okay, see that here. Okay, and then what we'll do is we'll go back in, and so the first row we are going to make size 3. And then we'll access the second row, and we'll make that a size 4. And we'll do that one more time for our third row, and we'll make that again. Let's make that a 5. Okay. Now let's go ahead and create the 2 for loops to populate the elements. Okay. So we'll have int row equals 0, while row is less than arg.length row plus plus, then for int column again equal to 0, while column, and in this one the loop is gonna look a little different because we're gonna add the row in here. Okay, because they each has different length, each row has a different length. We want to make sure that we are transversing through the correct length of each row. So that's why we have the row here I to access that. Okay, column plus plus. All right. So let's go ahead and we'll take the uneven. Okay, we'll access that at row and column. Okay, and let's make some random, let's use the random math. Alright, times, let's keep it between 20. Alright, so 0 and 20, I believe that's how that's gonna do it. And then we'll go ahead and print out our jagged array so we can see what it looks like. Alright, so let's go ahead and do that next. So we can basically copy this for loop. Let's go ahead and do that. Alright, let's clean up our code a little bit. Alright, so here instead we're going to do print. Alright, and we're going to print the uneven at this row, this column. Alright, provide a little bit of space there. And again, after each loop, we want to give a little space. Alright, so let's take a look at what that looks. Generating random numbers. Okay. Oops. Let's see here. Where did we mess up? Where did I mess up? Column, row. Let me take a closer look here. Okay, it looks like I messed up a little bit on the indexing here. So it's index 2. Okay, 1, 2, 1, 0, 1, 2. Okay, let's run that again. Let's go ahead and clear this. Alright, and run. Alright, there we go. So random numbers here. We see the second array. Let's go ahead and add a little print statement here. And then we'll run it again. Alright, that looks a little neater. Okay, so again, it's generating random numbers between 0 and 20. Alright, but you can see that it is a different actually it's not. Let's take a look here. Okay, I think I see where I committed an error on the for loops here. So I went back to using arg. I'm supposed to be using uneven. One more here. Okay, let's go ahead and clear this. Let's run it and take a look here. Alright, there we go. You can see that it's jagged now. So 3 columns, 4 columns, 5 columns. Let's reduce this 20 to 10. That way it's between 0 and 10. Oops. Alright, run it one more time. Alright, there we go. Okay. Okay, so next, let's look at copying an array. Alright. Copying an array is pretty easy when you're doing when you're using the System.arraycopy. So basically, it's you're using a single array. For example, let's use a char array, and then we'll say this is the source. Okay, and let's do A, B, C. Okay, and then we're going to have another char, and let's call this copy. Okay, and we'll go ahead and declare this to char, and this will be 3. Okay, and now basically what we're going to do is we're going to do System.arraycopy. Now here in the IDE, you can see that it's giving us the source object, the source position, the destination of the array, and then we're missing one more, the length. Okay, so let's go ahead and pass these parameters in. So again, we're copying from the source, from the 0 position, the front of our array. We're going to copy to copy array. Okay, again at the 0 position, that's where we want to start. And this is a length 3. Okay, now after that, let's go ahead and just print out our array. Alright, so string dot value of, and let's pass in copy. Alright, let's go ahead and run that. Alright, and here we can see on the bottom ABC. Alright, so, and we're printing the string of copy. So you can see from the source, it's the same. Alright, let's print out a few spaces here and here. Alright, now next we'll move on to cloning an array. Okay, so let's go ahead and create 2 new arrays. I can start with integer. Let's let's do Boolean. You rarely ever see that. Boolean array. Okay, let's do this. We'll do true, true, and false. Maybe true, false. Okay, and then we'll name it something here like B art. Okay, then let's go ahead and print actually what we have here so far. So system out. Actually, we're gonna loop through this here. Let's loop through. So we're gonna use for each loop. Okay, for each boolean b in b arc. Let's go ahead and print a new line. Let's be b. Okay, so let's go ahead and see what that looks like. All right, true, true, false, true, false. Okay, now we're gonna do the next thing here is we're gonna do the same here. We're gonna create another Boolean array that we're gonna clone to. Let's call it clone. All right, and this is going to be equal to br.clone. All right, and let's print that out. So for boolean b in clone, let's go ahead and print out b. All right, so they should be identical here. All right, it's hard to see because we didn't give any space, but right before we print this one, let's go ahead and add some space. Run this again. All right, there we go. We can see that they contain the same values. All right. Okay, and next we'll create two matrices and add them together. So let's do two int. We'll call this m1. Okay, and then let's go ahead and give them values here. Let's say 2, 3, and 4. And we'll do 3, 4, and 5. Okay, and then we'll create another matrix here. All right, let's do 1, 3, and 3. And then we'll do 1, 1, 1. Okay, we're going to create one to hold a result from the addition, from the sum of the two matrices. Okay, it's gonna be a 2 by 3. Okay, right, it's gonna be 2 rows, 3 columns, because we're working with oh, did I miss a step here? All right, let's work through our for loops. Okay, into row equal to 0, row less than 2. Alright, and then a row plus plus 4 and column 0. Actually, let's not get sloppy with our spacing here. Okay, column less than 3. Okay, I hope that's making sense, because we are running through the arrays. So the 0 and 1, okay, 0 and 1, those are the rows. Okay, let's actually set them up this way so it's much easier to see. Okay, and then we'll do the same here. Okay, you can see 2 rows, 3 columns. Okay, so our result will be the same rows and columns as the 2 matrices that we're summing. Okay, let's go ahead and run through here and save our results in results. Okay, we're going to be storing it in row and column, and it's going to be from the M1 row and column plus M2, also it's row and column. Okay, so we're going to do that. Then what we're going to do next is we'll just go ahead and on the same line, we'll just go ahead and on our same for loops, we'll go ahead and just print out result at this row and column, and then for each row, let's go ahead and print out a space. All right, and then let's include a space after this here too, so it's a little neater. All right, let's go ahead and run that. All right, and there we go, our sum. Okay, so our sum's 3, 6, and 7, 4, 5, and 6, right? So 2 plus 1 is 3, 3 plus 3, 6, 4 plus 3, 7, then the next one, 3 plus 1, 4, 4 plus 1, 5, 5 plus 1, 6. All right, and that's just an easy example of adding 2 matrices together.